Hare Krishna. Welcome to today's Srimad Bhagavatam class. This class is a recorded class. Today we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 62, chapter entitled The Meeting of Usa and Aniruddha. Please repeat after me. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam. Naram Chaim Narottamam. Deving Saraswating Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayat Nastaparesha Vadareshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavate Uttama Sloke Bhaktir Bhavadi Naistikihi Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnana Salakaya Chaksuran Maratanyana Tasmai Sri Guruve Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manubhustam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Uttapatakamanam Sri Guru Vaisabhamscha Sri Rupam Sagarijatam Sahagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sarvitam Savrutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitana Devam Sri Radha Krishna Paran Sahagana Lalita Sri Visakam Vitamscha Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinobandhu Jagatpate Kopisha Kopika Kanta Radhakanta Namusute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanjagabduru Vishakripa Sindhu Ebacha Patinanam Pamanevyo Vaishnavevyo Namo Namaha Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Nama Om Vishwamudaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srivite Japataka Swami Iti Namne Nama Acharya Pidani Tai Kripa Pidani Gaura Kantadam Dai Nagrigramatani Mukam Koroti Pancholo Pangulai Krim Yat Kripatamam Mande Sri Guru Dinataram Paramam Madhavam Sri Chaitanya Ishwaram. This is Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 62, chapter entitled The Meeting of Usha and Aniruddha, text number 9. The Sanskrit verse goes as follows: Iti ukta kumatir hasta swagraham pravisan nirpa pratiksan girisa desam swavirya nasanam kudihi. Translation and purport by the disciples of His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. Thus advised, an unintelligent Banasura was delighted. The fool then went home, O king, to wait for that which Lord Girisa had predicted, the destruction of his prowess. Purport. Here Banasur is described as Kudehi, having bad intelligence, and Kumati, foolish, because he completely misunderstood the actual situation. This demon was so arrogant that he was convinced no one could defeat him. He was delighted to hear that someone as powerful as Lord Shiva would come to fight with him and satisfy his itch for battle. Even though Shiva had said that this person would break Bana's flag and destroy his prowess, the demon was too foolish to take this statement seriously and eagerly awaited the fight. At the present moment, materialistic people are delighted by the many unprecedented facilities for sense gratification. Although it is clear that death, both individual and collective, is quickly approaching them, modern sense gratifiers are oblivious to their inevitable destruction. As stated in Bhagavatam 2:14, Pasyan api na pasyati. Even though their imminent destruction is apparent, they are too blind to see it, being intoxicated by sex enjoyment and family attachment. Similarly, Banasura was intoxicated with his material prowess and could not believe that he was about to be cut down to size. Hare Krishna. So this chapter is a very interesting chapter because this story is about this chapter is about this demon called Banasura. This Banasura comes in many stories. He's a very powerful Brahmana. So I'm sorry. He's a very powerful demon. Very powerful demon. So powerful that other demons in the Srimad Bhagavatam stories were actually all very nice, very good people. But because of his association, because of the association of this Banasura, they became greatly envious of Krishna and Lord Vishnu. So this chapter is about the story of Banasura. So who is this Banasura? So this Banasura is actually the son of Bali Maharaj. Okay, this Bali Maharaj is the same Bali Maharaj that was who had darshan of Lord Vamanadev, and he gave the whole the three worlds as a donation to Lord Vamanadev. So this Bali Maharaj, even though Bali Maharaj was born in a family of demons, but he was a very great devotee of Lord Vishnu. Lord Vamanadev gave him darshan. So this Banasura is the eldest son of 100 sons of Bali Maharaj. Okay, so he's the eldest son. So this Banasur actually he is because of his father. He was actually a very nice person. Actually, he's a very pious, very nice. But he was a devotee of Lord Shiva. So, being a very great devotee of Lord Shiva benedicted him with 1,000 arms because he wanted to become very, very powerful. He wanted to become so powerful that he cannot be defeated. Because of this benediction of having 1,000 arms, this Banasur became so powerful that even Lord Indra became afraid of him. Indra became at one point his servant. So powerful. So, being a very great devotee of Lord Shiva, this Banasur very often will render devotional service to Lord Shiva. So, at one time, Lord Shiva was performing his dance, Tanda Natyam. Okay, Tanda Natyam, this Lord Shiva is also known as Nataraj. Lord Shiva likes to dance. So, to please Lord Shiva, Banasur, since he had 1,000 arms, he decided to play drums for Lord Shiva. So, like this, he was playing the drums and Lord Shiva was dancing, Tanda Natyam. So, like this, Lord Shiva became very, very pleased with him. And he asked him, my dear Banasur, please tell me what benediction I can give you. Then Banasur said, my dear Lord, you are the fulfiller of everyone's wishes. Please benedict me that you protect me from my enemies. You please become the protector of my city. Sonipur. Sonipur. So, like that, Lord Shiva became his protector. So, like this, this relationship between Banasur and Lord Shiva was of a guru and disciple. So one day, because of his 1,000 arms, this Banasur became very agitated and very foolish. One day he went to give obeisances to his guru, Lord Shiva, and he asked Lord Shiva this question. He said this one you must hear. Banasur said, "O Lord Mahadev, I bow down to you, the spiritual master and controller of the worlds. You are like the heavenly tree that fulfills the desire of those whose desires are unfulfilled. These 1,000 arms you bestowed upon me have become merely a heavy burden. Besides you, I find no one in the three worlds worthy to fight. Eager to fight with the elephants who ruled the directions, O primeval Lord, I went forth and pulverized mountains with my arms, which were itching for battle. But even those great elephants fled in fear." So like this, he spoke to his guru like this. He is basically saying that the benediction you gave me is actually a big burden. he's indirectly saying, you are not intelligent. My dear Lord, I have given me this benediction, you are not intelligent. And therefore, he is giving reasons why he say it is a burden. This Banasur, he had 1,000 arms, but he had so much energy, so much power, but he could not do anything with it. Nothing he can do. He wanted to fight actually. He wanted to fight, but there's nobody out there to fight him. The ruler of this heavenly planet's Lord Indra became his servant. So what to do with his arms? And he's telling here that out of frustration he went to whack mountains, and he wanted to fight with elephants. Elephants, they were so frightened of his 1,000 arms, they all ran away. So after hearing this, Lord Shiva understood the mentality of this Banasur, and he became very, very upset. And he says here that Lord Shiva became angry in you, and he replied, your flags will be broken, fool, when you have done battle with one who is my equal. That fight will vanquish your conceit. So here Lord Shiva is giving a curse to his Sisyan, to his disciple. So this is the thing about fulfilling your desires. Many people approach Lord Shiva because he is also known as Ashutosh. Ashutosh means the one who is very easily pleased and very easily angered, as you can see here. His own disciples, he cursed him. So people approach Lord Shiva for actually to fulfill some material desires. And very often these desires do not actually fulfill their desire, they become frustrated. And because of frustration, they come after Lord Shiva. And this is a very good example here. So another story that is similar to this is the story of another demon by the name of Vritasura, if I'm not mistaken. This Vritasura, he wanted the benediction from Lord Shiva that anybody's head that he touched, the head will just fall off the body. So the moment he received this benediction, he wanted to test it, and he wanted to test it on Lord Shiva. Shiva, knowing his power, he began to run away. He started to run. So immediately Lord Shiva, he ran to Lord Vishnu. He said, my dear Lord, please help me. I've got this disciple. His name is Vritasura. He wants to touch my head, and when he touches my head will fall off. So Lord Vishnu, knowing the situation, he said, no problem, Lord Shiva, you go, you leave it to me. So Lord Vishnu, what he did was, he transformed himself to a nice, cute little Brahmana boy. So when this demon came, this Vritasura came, he started to ask this boy, my dear Brahmana boy, have you seen Lord Shiva? I'm looking for him. Then this Brahmana boy asked this demon Vritasura, why are you looking for Lord Shiva? I said, Lord Shiva is giving me a benediction whereby if I touch anybody's head, the head will fall off. So this Brahmana boy started to laugh. He started laughing, and he said, you mean to tell me you believe this Lord Shiva? Whatever benediction he gives you, you think you really work? My dear Vritasura, you are from a very great lineage. I know your father, I know your uncle, I know your mother. You're such an intelligent person. So this Brahmana boy started to stroke his false ego. So he started to stroke this false ego of this Vritasura, and what happened was this Vritasura became very big-headed. So he was feeling very nice because one Brahmana boy was pleasing him. Finally, this Brahmana boy said, my dear Vritasura, if you really think there is any truth to this benediction, you touch your own head and see. I tell you, nothing will happen. That's what he did. So this Vritasura touched his own head, and guess what happened? His head fell off. This is how Lord Shiva was saved by Lord Vishnu. So here also is one situation whereby Lord Shiva curses his own disciple, that one day he will come across an enemy that is Lord Shiva's equal, and he will break his flag, and when he is done with you, and he will destroy his ego. He will destroy his ego. So hearing this Banasura, for whatever reason, he did not understand. He did not understand that this curse is actually meant for his destruction. But when he heard it, he was very happy. It was because his desire was he wanted to fight. I want to fight with somebody my equal. So it is explained here that those who are too much into sense gratification, so much engrossed in the three mode of material nature, their intelligence is lost. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 7, text 14, Daivi isa gunamayi mama maya durajya mam eva papadyante mayamitam tarantite. Krishna says that this divine energy of mind, consisting of the three mode of material nature, is very difficult to overcome. This is one good example here. Very difficult to overcome. Once you are under the grip of this mode of material nature, it goes to your head and you lose your intelligence. That's why this in the purport, if you read, this word kudahi is used. Could he use having bad intelligence? It's not that he is not intelligent, but because he is under the influence of the mode of ignorance, he has taken something bad to be good. He has taken something bad to be good. He just got cursed that he will be destroyed. But he's taking it as if, oh, very nice thing, very wonderful. And kumati. Kumati means he's also foolish, very, very foolish, not intelligent. So he's lost his intelligence. So after getting this curse, this story continues on. One day, this Banasura has a daughter by the name of Usha. This Banasur in his city of Sonipur, he's got a daughter by the name of Usha. Let me see that city name is the correct name I'm mentioning. Sonitapura. The name of the city is Sonitapura. So this Banasur has a daughter by the name of Usha. She was a very young teenage girl. So this teenage girl, every day, ever since she turned 15, 16, she's having this dream. She's having this dream that she met her man of a dream in her dream. And she will be so engrossed in this dream, and she be so engrossed. And one day, while she was with a very good friend Chitralekha saw her. She was dreaming and she was having such a good time. So when she got up from her dream, Chitralekha asked her, "Hey Usha, what were you dreaming about?" So Usha became very, very shy and she said, "My dear Chitralekha, I have been having this recurring dream. I am with this very, very handsome man, and he is actually my husband. In my dream, he is my husband." So Chitralekha, hearing this, she said she became very interested. So this Chitralekha is actually King Banasura's prime minister's daughter. So this Chitralekha also, she was a yogini. She had very great yogic powers. So to satisfy and to find out who this person that this Usha was dreaming of, she decided to sketch pictures of all these great heavenly, beautiful devas that this Usha was giving a description of in her dreams. So she was drawing and drawing and drawing, and she drew so many pictures. She drew she drew pictures of Gandharvas, Siddhas, Charanas, Pangas, Daityas, Vidyaharas, Yakshas, and even humans. Okay. So she drew and drew and drew until she came to one picture of Krishna. When she drew the picture of Krishna, Usha quiet already. She became quiet already. He said, "Oh, this man, the person in my dream looks similar to Krishna." Then she drew Pradumna, Krishna's son. Then she became even more quiet. Then she said, yeah, it's similar to this, close, very close. Then she drew Aniruddha. That means he's Krishna's grandson, Pradumna's son. Pradumna is Krishna's Dwarkadish, Krishna's son from Rukmani. Pradumna is Dwarkadish, Krishna's son from Rukmani. So Pradumna had a son. His son is Aniruddha. When she showed this picture of Aniruddha to Usha, her head just went down. She became very, very shy. Then she knew, oh, this is the person. This is the person that recurring keeps coming in her dream. So by her mystic power, she said, "Don't worry, my dear Usha. I will bring him here. I'll bring him to your place, to your palace." So by her mystic power, she flew into the sky and she went to Dwarka, and she went to the room where Aniruddha was sleeping. And in his sleeping state, she transported him to the room of Usha. And when Aniruddha got up from sleep, he was shocked. He said, "Hey, where am I? Where is this place? And who is this girl here? This Usha?" They saw each other. Usha, she showed all the signs of being very bashful, very shy, very, very attracted. And Aniruddha also asked her, "Hey, my dear maiden, where am I? Who are you? Why am I doing here?" Then she began to explain to him, I dreamt of you in my dream. You are actually my husband. You are benedicted to be by goddess Parvati. So this one is a side story. When this Usha was very young, when she was very, very young, she had the darshan of Lord Shiva and Parvati. So when she had the darshan of Lord Shiva and Parvati, Lord Shiva and Parvati were having conjugal relationships. They were enjoying themselves. Okay. So when Lord Shiva and Parvati was enjoying themselves, this Usha saw this, and in her heart, her desire came out. For a young girl, her desire came out, and she thought to herself, "When can I enjoy myself like this?" So seeing this, Parvati saw her and understood what was in her heart. Parvati immediately addressed her, "My dear Usha, don't worry. You will definitely one day enjoy this also." Okay. And then Usha asked, "When will this happen and who that person will be?" So Parvati answered this young Usha and told her that your husband will come to you in your dream. Your husband will be revealed to you in your dream. Okay. So when she heard this, she was very, very happy. So how to understand this? This is actually the benediction of having a pious life. This Usha, no doubt she was a daughter of a great demon, Banasura. The father was a demon, but she was a pure devotee. She was actually a very, very highly elevated pure devotee. Her desire was actually to please Krishna. Her original desire, lifetime after lifetime, she performed austerity to actually please Krishna. So that opportunity came now in this life as Usha. So remembering this, she explained to Aniruddha, and they started to enjoy themselves. So Aniruddha, you have to understand, he is a Kshatriya, son of the greatest Kshatriya actually, Pradumna, and his grandfather is even more famous. So the code for Kshatriya is that anybody approaching them to fulfill some desires, the Kshatriya cannot deny. That is supposed to be a Kshatriya code of conduct. This is how they are supposed to behave themselves. So even if a girl comes and approach them, they want to have sex with them, they cannot deny them. You have to understand this. In Vedic culture, in Vedic times, governments, kings, they had very heavy responsibility. Their duty was to ensure that all the makkal, everybody in the country, is satisfied and happy in every possible way. And one of the ways they do that is they will check and see anybody in the kingdom, any girl especially, any girl not married for whatever reason. Whatever reason the girl not married means the king will take the girl as his wife. The girl will come and live with him in his palace. They will do whatever work they want to do. They want to be a servant also can. They want to be like in charge of something also can. And this king will give them children. You see. So this Aniruddha, seeing the situation, he says, "This girl has approached me and saying that I am her husband, and she wants to enjoy with me. Who am I to deny her?" So they started to enjoy themselves. So this is not recommended in Vedic culture. Not recommended. This is a very unusual situation. But what happened was, this Usha enjoyed herself so much that she began to show signs on her body that she was extremely happy. And all the maid servants in her palace did notice this about her. Somehow, the news of her transformation reached her father, and he told her father, "There is something wrong with your daughter. Something is going on in her room. She's very secretive in her room. She's having something in her room. We suspect that she's enjoying herself with a man." When the father heard this, the father immediately became alarmed. Father Banasura, the great demon Banasura, became so frightened. He said, how can this be happening in my own palace? This is a very natural thing, huh? Fathers and daughters. Huh? Any father you meet, he might be the most gentle man, no, but you mess with his daughter, immediately he becomes asura. He becomes a demon. So immediately this Banasura rushed to the room of Usha, his daughter's room. And when he entered the room, he saw this Aniruddha on the bed with his daughter. And the moment his eyes set on Aniruddha, he noticed this Aniruddha is so attractive, is so beautiful. And he was thinking in his mind also, he said, this Aniruddha will be a very good match for my daughter. I only wish this kind of, attractive boy can become, my son-in-law. In his mind, he was thinking like that. But at the same time, he said, "Hey, hello, this is wrong, lah. This is not right. You should approach me first. You want to enjoy my daughter, you must approach me first." So out of duty, actually, he was not really angry, but what to do? He had to do something. He had to do his duty as a father. So he decided to fight with this Aniruddha. So Aniruddha saw that, father is here already, he's going to fight with me. He immediately he got up, he grabbed a rod, and he was fighting with the soldiers of Banasura. And he was whacking the soldiers left, right, and center like nobody's business. Banasura was seeing this and he was impressed. He was very happy. He was saying, this fella can fight some more. Oh, very good. So somehow or other, this Aniruddha was fighting, and then he thought to himself, I still cannot let him go. I want to let him go. I'm very impressed with him. I'm very pleased with him. But I cannot let him go. So this Banasur had one special rope that was benedicted to him by Lord Shiva. And that rope is called Nagastra. Nagastra, is it? I'm also not sure. Cannot remember. I'm getting old already now. Pradumna. This rope caught this Aniruddha and tied him up. So after tying him up, in Dwarka, what happened was, everybody was very afraid. Where is this Aniruddha? Aniruddha, he was here just now. Now he's disappeared already. Nagapasa. The rope that Banasur used was called Nagapasa rope. And when Aniruddha was captured, Usha became so distraught, she started to cry and cry and cry. So this is where the story ends. Okay. So from this story, actually, there are a lot of lessons to be learned. Number one, of course, is to see how this Banasura, being intoxicated with sense gratification, he has lost all his intelligence. His guru just cursed him. And guru curse is the worst kind of curse you can get. Guru's curse is the worst kind of curse you can get. You can get curses from people that you hurt. Sometimes those curses don't work. But when that curse is coming from somebody who's very austere, who's performed austerity, who's pure at heart, and you hurt that person curse you, usually that curse is very, very effective. And what to speak of Lord Shiva? He is known as Mahadev. Mahadev means the greatest of all devas. Another name for Lord Shiva is Vaishnava Yata Sambho. The greatest Vaishnava, the greatest devotee of Lord Vishnu is Sambho. So such a person curses means you sure will happen one. Okay. So these characteristics of those who are absorbed in sense gratification, they are very, they become very embarrassed. They become very embarrassed. So this is a lesson to all of us also. Uh, Prahlad Maharaj in Canto 7, he says there that these Bhagavata Dharma, this Vedic knowledge, especially devotional service, is meant to be taught to everyone from childhood. From childhood, it's supposed to be taught, not to be, like what we have now. Parents are sending children to school to learn nonsense, actually to teach them to be somebody's slave. To be, you think about it and see, these children, they when they graduate from school, what are they going to do? They're going to look for job. Job means what? You are somebody's slave. uh, but Bhagavata Dharma is teaching you how to become not somebody's slave, but to become Krishna's das. Jivara Swarupa hoy, Krishna Nitya Das. The original constitutional position of all living entity is not to be the Purusha or the enjoyer, but to be Krishna Nitya Das. The original constitution of the living entity is to be an eternal servant of Krishna. Okay, so this is very, very important to understand, because today people have forgotten the fact that what is the purpose of this human life. Everybody is working very hard, everybody is earning money, but nobody is happy. There is a big question mark there. There's a big, exclamation mark there. You should be very, very careful. The fact of the matter that everybody is unhappy because they do not know who they are. They do not know what is the purpose of life. From childhood, their parents will tell them what to do. When they go to school, the teachers will tell them what to do. When they go to college, the professor will tell them what to do. When they graduate from college, they get work, their boss will tell them what to do. The boss will tell you, oh, you are worth this much, you can have this much of annual leave, you can live this kind of life, this standard of life, you cannot do anything else. They don't have their own intelligence. Their intelligence are like just like the person who was a slave. And then finally, when they get married, then they become a slave to their spouse. They become slave to their senses. And then when children come, that's it, checkmate. They become slave to the children. So this is a very important point to understand. This Bhagavata Dharma is a great benediction for every one of us. It's very, very important for us to take to the study of Srimad Bhagavatam and try to understand ourselves from the stories of Krishna and his pure devotees. That is a very, very important point. And second point here is, in this chapter, it speaks about um, uh, how this the main point is this actually. I was listening to a class by Dhanaviri Swami. Dhanaviri Swami, he's from academic background. He was saying that he has studied all the political systems in the world. He studied all the empires. He studied the ancient and modern. He studied everybody trying to find some material solution to material problems. They don't realize that the material problem is due to the fact that they have no spiritual grounding. They do not know who they are, first of all. They all think I'm the body. The man is thinking he's a man, the woman is thinking he's a woman, the man thinks he's very intelligent, the woman thinks she's very pretty, and that's all. That's what they do the whole life. No. The real identity is Jivara Surupoy, Krishna Nitya Das. The original constitution of all the living entity is to be an eternal servant of Krishna. So Dhanavir Maharaj was telling that at one point he was in a South American country, and there was one very famous socialist leader. For many, many years, he had this socialist party, and he's been preaching and preaching, giving speeches, and his speeches was like, oh, I will take care of my people, I will take care of them, I'll do charity, I'll do this, I'll do that. And finally, when he came to power, he was elected as the president. And when he was elected as the president, he had his party celebration. And in his party celebration, he was there, and Maharaj saw. This person finally told the truth. He says, yes, this is the purpose of life. He had two girls in his arms with mini skirts, and he had a bottle of tequila. This is it, tequila and women. See, at the end of the day, all that telling lies all gone to nothing. In the end, it became what? Fulfilling his lusty desires. So Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that uh, uh, to overcome such lusty traps, these lusty desires will keep you trapped in this cycle of birth and death. The only result to all of this is that Krishna says in chapter 9 text 3, asradhanam purusha dharmasya sya parantapa apraptam mam nivartante mrityu samsaravatmani. Krishna says that if one does not take to this devotional service, he is very specific. He says devotional service to Krishna, very very specific. The verse before that has established that Krishna is only speaking about devotional service to Krishna. Those who do not take to this path of devotional service, their faith is only will end in the cycle of birth and death. Samsara, mrityu samsara vatmani. Mrityu means death, samsara means cycle, vatmani means with no end. So if you end up in the cycle of birth and death, I have met some people that ask me, and after hearing this verse, they said, "Well, what's wrong with that? Okay, what? Next life I can take birth. I can take birth again. What?" But they do not know. They are assuming, "Oh, next birth also I'll take birth as a human. Whatever I'm going through now, I'll have the same." No, there's no guarantee that will happen. In Padma Purana, Lord Shiva himself says there are 8,400,000 of species of life. And when you take birth, you can take birth in any one of these 8,400,000 species of life. Who you will get as father, you do not know. Who you'll get as mother, you do not know. What your situation will be, no. You can be born in heaven, you can be born in hell, you can be born on earth. Where's the end? The question is, yes, you take birth, and then after that you take another birth, and you take another birth, and then another birth, another birth, another birth, another birth, another birth. In each birth, you have to experience birth, death, disease, and old age. None of this is fun. None of this is enjoyable. So Krishna says in the end, in Bhagavad Gita, the conclusion says, Sarva dharma parityajya mamekam saranam braja aham tvam sarva papepyo mokshayishami masucha. Abandon all varieties of religion. Religion here also means not only religion like in Christianity or Islam. Religion is what you are preoccupied with 24 hours a day. He said, give this all up. Don't be so preoccupied. This material world is temporary. Nothing here you have and nothing that you own or you possess will be permanent. You will be just swept away by the motion of time and the nature itself. He says, abandon all varieties of religion and just surrender unto me. Krishna says, you surrender unto Krishna only. Sarva dharma parija mamekam saranam braja aham tavam sarva papibhyo. You say, you can be assured I will absorb all your sinful activities. You see, if you don't take shelter of Krishna, Krishna cannot help you. If you take shelter of Krishna, Krishna can help you. There are many varieties of religions out there. Almost all of them do not know anything about Krishna. They know a portion of Krishna. They know some small portion of him, which is actually powerful by itself. All these religions that don't directly address who Krishna is actually a stepping stone. Is not to be condemned. Whatever that is morally good, that is helping you to be purified, to help you live your life according to some kind of principles, they are actually stepping stones for you to come to the platform of loving devotional service. Bhakti Yoga. Bhakti Yoga is explained as being the highest form of devotional service. Okay. Krishna says, I will absorb you all your sinful reaction, and in the end you'll get moksha. And he says, Ma Sucha. Ma Sucha means do not fear. You will not find this statement anywhere in any other scripture by any other saint, not by Jesus Christ, not by Nabi Muhammad, not by anyone. Nobody gives any guarantee. Ma Sucha here means I guarantee. There's only one place, that is by Krishna. Krishna only can guarantee. Krishna is saying, I will give you liberation. So, like this story is very instructive. And next chapter is the continuation. After Aniruddha is captured, Krishna will be very alarmed, and he is wondering, where is my grandson? Where is my grandson? And what will happen is Narada Muni will come and inform Krishna, my dear Krishna, your grandson is in this Sonitapura capital, and this Sonitapura is a capital of the demon Banasura. So next chapter we will hear what will happen. So I end the class here. Thank you very much for listening. Hare Krishna. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. All glories to Gurudev. Jai Gaur Premanandi Hari Hari Bo.